Okay, so I'm gonna start this session. I'm gonna start this session with opening the calendar 1 second and review what the events that we have for the end of the year quickly. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1, fly sound. Everybody knows. Great. Anton, I explained to the guys what we're gonna do later. What we're gonna do that day. Basically, on Friday, I have bachelors and DPO there. We will leave a setup ready with everything ready to go, and then you guys come and we will use that setup that it's already built. And there will be a tour of the whole place. So you will see the place, and the first hour is a tour, and the second hour, it's like 3 hours we'll be there. The second 2 hours are just hanging around in the studio. Then next week we have lectures as usual, and officially, like the school, if I understand correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but what I understand is that officially everything ends on the 24th. Um, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay. Okay, so I also wanted to announce to you that I plan to do some activities on the week of the 26th and 30. This is just online. Like I told you, I want to try to go to this museum. There is a chance. I'm telling you, just in case, there is a chance that. There is a chance that that can. I mean, the reason is on Thursday I fly to Sochi, so maybe the day before the flight to Sochi, I'm gonna be a bit complicated, and so there is a chance that that thing will happen later in the year, but that thing will happen. I never forget about my promises, and that's gonna. Yeah, for example, Antonio's not here, but I mean, maybe that would happen. Like, imagine, classes start on September 10, and then the thing will be like the week before the start of classes. Like, let's go and see each other and hi, and then reconnect, and then let's start again and see the museum and hang out. Like, I'm sure. Yeah, the day before the flight and with the kids and Anya pregnant and everything is complicated. So I just made that impulsive decision to go to Sochi because some family member. No, and there is a cool reason. Some family member of ours is taking 3 kids there, and so we're gonna and he goes with his friends. So there are 5 kids going there. So we're taking our two. So there are 7 kids gonna be there for 16 days. It's like some place down by the beach with some igra boy and what's the name, a swimming pool and everything. And so okay, so okay that but on the 28th, I promised Natalia and to you all of you, and I really want to deliver that promise. I didn't touch mixing on purpose this year because the mixing course next year is so huge that I wanted just to kind of like take it easy. But on that day, I want to give you sort of like online on the 28th. I want to give you like a sort of like a guideline of like, hey guys, like you want to mix? Okay, like start by thinking about this, and then next year we go deeper. So you have all the summer to think about it. It's very basic. I know what I want to tell you. So I think at the usual time, like 10:30, but online, like to 12, we're gonna have a little online meeting there about mixing. So this is gonna be lecture 33, duplicate. So let me just put it there on the 28th of June online. And this thing online is better because I have all my plugins and I can just show you stuff, and it's really cool to do it like that. And yeah, and you can be there. You see, yeah, yeah, it's online. You can be there, so that's awesome. So okay, and if you, okay, sure, look at this. I'm gonna screenshot this, okay? And actually, yeah, well, I'm gonna screenshot this, yeah, and just put it here in the status T year 1. Okay, so that's kind of how I see the ending of the course. Wait, let me just put this here. Watch stall, here and send. Okay, so 28th of June, 10:30 to 12. All right, so now let me sneeze. No, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so yeah, it was like I thought about it and then I lost it. And the other thing I owe you, and we will recover that for sure, is the time with these scenes. I'm gonna get them repaired in the summer. I just don't forget my depths to you guys, and I always think about that. So we will have that time and we will discuss it. So there will be that extra material in a point two. Da. Anything you want. Yeah, of course. Everything you want. It's here. Just whatever is comfortable for you. Okay, so look, guys. We are in kind of like end of the year vibes, right? And end of the year vibes means that kind of both you and I don't want to do anything. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like that always. Am I right or am I not right? It's always like that when the end year is. I mean, when I was a student too, it was like I'm tired, I'm saturated, I don't want to do anything. So I guess we will be a bit chilled, not push it so hard, but I do want to discuss with you some stuff that I have here because I prepared it. So I really want to discuss it with you, um, but let's see what's going on there. So I start this lecture with this famous. I put this, Italian hand, like follow your mistake, and oi, I don't know if I have. I think I have mentioned this quote to you from my drummer, Italian drummer Riccardo Castellani in London. He was the drummer of Laps Around the Sun, and he was just always saying, "Follow your mistakes." And I don't know if you know this Bob Ross. You know if we know who Bob Ross is, but you say he was saying like, "We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents." No, I mean it's a general. I don't know, message towards being correct in music, writing in correct melodies, things like, I mean, just obviously, I don't believe in this kind of limitations or this sort of like, I don't know, rules. And I think that now that we're here and we're having this a bit more chilled lecture, I think that what I learned this year, I learned, I mean, this year for me was, I'm telling you, and this is so exciting. Like, I'm now 38, right? This was a year when I learned the most in my life, really, like as a producer and a musician and stuff. So, I mean, the great news for you, I also did a course like yours. I also worked so many years, and it's so cool. I mean, because I was always afraid to growing old, and I was always like, oh, it's gonna be so boring, it's gonna be so shitty, like it's gonna be boring. I'm gonna become boring. I'm gonna become old. I'm gonna become stupid. Like it's gonna be annoying. When I was kind of like at your side of the river, I was looking like that. And I love to give you the news from this side of the river, like, hey, you know what? Like, this was the year when I learned the most. So you have this ahead of you, and that's a great news. I mean, it's not like your time is now, and that once your time is over, like you are not gonna learn anymore. Like, this year was crazy, and I'm exhausted. Yes, it was inhuman. Like the decision that the school made on putting me to teach this much was a very bad decision. I support that idea. Like, they are lucky that I'm Latin American, and Latin Americans are just like, okay, señor, vale, yo cargo ese bulto. Es como que, okay, mister, I will carry this backpack, and okay, fine. Like, because that's how Latin Americans are. We're really humble, and we're like, we are grateful to our opportunities, and it's like, okay, I have this opportunity, I have to teach on human load, but I'll do it with a smile, and I'll just like swim that swimming pool, and I'm like, the end is next week, and I'm like, we can do it. So I'm almost there, and I'm really happy. And you will see the effects of this next year. I mean, I have 32 Развитие технического слуха lectures prepared. I have 17 mixing and mastering lectures prepared. So next year for me would just be like coffee, go to deliver the lecture. That's it. And like, that's why I was, for example, I was thinking last night, I prepare this, and maybe we come today and we will not deliver it or not. I don't care. It's kind of for next year. That's kind of how I see it. So, and what I learned this year. One of the most important things that I learned this year is like, what is pop? If you remember that lecture that we had about pop music, and this kind of idea that I mean, if you try to define pop music, you will fail. It's really hard to define pop music. It's a weird thing. It's like Demi Lovato new record is like some metal stuff, kind of, or punk stuff, but that's pop. And why is that? Because the moment you think about the charts, that's the moment when you're doing pop already. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it as a negative thing. It's just like, what is pop? It's the moment when you're writing a melody and you say, will people like this? You're in the pop world already. Like, if you don't think about, will people like this? You're not in the pop world. Like, yeah, please. I love this debate, so that's great. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, конечно, по-русски можешь. Да, да. Ага, да-да. Да. Что значит определенно? Я знаю это слово, но не могу, если вы меня поможете. Particular, ага, определенно.
Ну, то есть кто-то написал конкретный трек, он может быть там не жанр, ну, как вы сказали, там металл, все сюда-сюда.
Да.
И он просто станет популярным, и вот в этот момент он становится популярным.
Я думаю, что есть мысли про что ты говоришь, есть очень важная мысль тоже, что иногда есть эта синхронация между что ты хочешь и что рынок хочет.
Ну, кстати,
Верно?
ну, кстати, вас удобнее понимать на английском.
Ah, yes, great, great, great. I think that there is a synchronicity sometimes between what you want and what the market wants, and it creates this heat. You know, like, but look at a case. I don't know, like Jacob Collier. Is Jacob Collier pop?
No?
Yes, no. Yes, no. Why? Well, fight.
My parents, no,
Will not like it. Okay, but no, but your grandparents will not like K-pop too, most likely. I mean, but K-pop is well, it has the pop word in the name.
through the radio, like, they will be... Просто у попа огромное влияние.
Да.
Если поп начнут просто включать по радио,
Мгм.
и моя бабушка это услышит,
Да.
она просто начнет, ей начнет это нравиться.
Если, хороший пункт. Ну, кстати, when we were making the pop lecture too, one of the opinions of some people that we were analyzing was like, pop music is anything you get on the mass media. Like, whatever you receive on the mass media. Like I mean, right now I'm not telling you that this is the truth. And by the way, I'm not telling you that nothing of this is the truth. It's just like, it's just,
Рассуждают просто.
it's like what I have in my mind when I'm writing music. Like, what I learned this year the most is that the only thing that matters, or one of the things that matter the most, is to have a strategy. Like in general, like to have a strategy. Not to. I mean, I used to like to write like, oh, the demons are taking possession of me, and I'm going to write like, and then I don't control my hands, and they start making music. And I learned this year that, and I will especially be. You will get a lot from me about this on year 3. On year 3, there is a course called Music Production of a Single. I hope that they don't change anything and that this course will be delivered to you. And that's a course when we work a lot in kind of like, we had a bit of explorations of this year, like what happens when we decide the tempo before we start, when we decide the key before we start, like all of this kind of stuff. But what I meant about this, what I was trying to go with this, was not to kind of define pop again. We discussed this already. Was sort of to say that whatever we want to do, there are moments when we're going to make mistakes, whether your search is to reach the charts or your search is to push music. Your search is, this is going to be a controversial sentence, but the search is to search for the truth. We can debate what that means, like to search for the truth.
Я хотела просто добавить, что, ну, я отчисляюсь прямо сейчас, я ухожу.
Just a second. I was about to finish this sentence. Whatever your search is, you're going to make mistakes and you should follow them. Go ahead. That's what I wanted to say.
Хотела просто вот сказать, что я ухожу, допустим, сейчас в
Понял.
это мои последние занятия.
Сегодня? Именно? Ага, окей. Ладно. Это грустно, конечно. Грустно, когда людей уходят. Будет классно говорить.
Просто переезжаю.
Ты переезжаешь? Ну ладно. Всегда мне важно говорить с людей, которые уходят, чтобы ты меня даешь фидбэк, поэтому будет классно, если у нас будет встреченька. Просто для слушать твое мнение, как ты чувствовала здесь, как было все для тебя.
Как будто бы пытаюсь от сегодняшнего дня взять больше, чем когда-либо. Просто потому что это мой
Понимаю. Куда ты уходишь? Какой твой план? В Париж? Nice. That's a really great plan. Yeah. You will move there to live? To live forever? And to study? Yeah, amazing. That's going to be awesome. Paris, have you been there, I guess, right? Like, yeah. Paris is great. So, congratulations. Yeah, that's a good end. If you need anything from us, we will always be here for you. So just ask us and we like to help. So, all right, back to our main topic. So, yeah, I just wanted to say this idea of follow your mistakes. Like, I think it's wise and etc. So, continuing on the same rage, there's nothing new there. Same resources I discussed. I just repeat them in case you want to download them again or something. Now, I know you know this guy, and I most likely you have seen this video. I'm just putting here some things that you can see to explore new stuff. I wanted to introduce you to this guy. I think maybe you don't know him. He's really great. This is you know this guy. What's his name? I always forget. Yeah, Andrew Huang. Like this, I wanted to like in the previous lecture, I put you here some Jacob Collier stuff to watch, and to expand your songwriting and production horizons. Today, because I mean I'm in the mood of cinematic music, I wanted to explore with you also. No, I mean we're not gonna discuss this today, by the way. I just mean that the video that I'm putting for you today is related to cinematic music. Just because I also want to inspire you in that direction because it's really cool. So this is for you. We're not gonna watch this. This is just for you to watch later. It's a really interesting exercise. It's like one scene and 4 different composers, and just to hear how each one of them creates that scene. Again,
Hey, it's Andrew Huang.
I don't plan to watch this. What I wanted to do is to introduce you to this guy because he's amazing. If you haven't, do you know him already? Have you heard of him? Yeah.
What's up? My name is Alex. I'm a music producer.
Well, he's check it out. Check out what he's doing. So this is just for you to watch, like new information.
Today I want to do a musical analysis of Last Surprise from.
So he is analyzing all soundtrack of video games, like, and he has done, like, for example, he was a music supervisor of John Wick. Like, I mean, he's really a serious cat.
Persona 5, which in my mind is the coolest, not the best, but the coolest battle theme in all of the series. Let's check it out.
I mean, this thing goes down to the details of. This goes down to the details of like all the melodies that they're using. He analyzes
The whole thing.
Like he analyzes everything.
The reason why it's so effective is that after the build-up, you have this percussion that stops completely, everything stops completely, and the only thing left is the vocal. But when it goes up, command, that's where you hear the different vocal layers starting with it.
You never see it coming.
So yeah,
What's up? My name is Alex. I'm a music.
For me, he's a great inspiration. He's an Italian son of African immigrants who moved to America, and he has this YouTube channel that is wonderful, wonderful, and he has the best neck chain in the world. Like, yeah, he's really nice. So I mean, exactly when you're tired. Yeah, so that's him, and I just wanted to give you these 2 new resources for you. So remember, we stopped here in this funny gifka of like, okay, what can we do? What are questions about improvement? We are analyzing the book by Denise DeSantis, and I plan to summarize all this book for you, and I think next week will be the last lecture of these, so we have the whole book summarized. My ambition is some of you are very prolific on writing music and can write a lot of music without help, and some of you maybe can use a little bit of help, just ideas, inspiration of how to get unstuck. So remember, the whole thing presents a problem and proposes a solution. So you always offer me claviatura. Can you pass me a claviatura, please? Now I became lazy. You see, that's the problem. When you help people, then they become lazy and they don't want to do things. No, I'm really grateful. So we're going to explore these ideas and see where we can go all the way till 12. And thank you so much. I was kind of trolling you there. Next time I'll take it myself. I was... It's just like it was funny that last week I told you no, and then I was like, why I'm so stupid? Yeah. So, yeah, let's go. Let's go, biatch. Okay. So, let's see. Let's kind of like jump around and see maybe some of the things call more your attention. I think that it's not a bad idea to have a look at the overall and then start focusing on some things. Music sounds flat, or there is a lack of depth. So there is this concept called the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. And so we're going to discuss that. We will discuss what that means in a minute. I'm just making like a little bit of a summary. There is something called mutations of clones, version 1, mutations of clones, version 2. So this is kind of like you grab an idea, duplicate it 8 times, and then you start modifying it a lot, and blah, blah. You will see where we're going to get there. Then there is node transformations. So obviously transpositions, but there are other cool ideas that he's proposing there: inversions, retrograde inversions, constraint to scale, time shifting, pitch rotation. Further possibilities that we can do with this. There is something called pareidolia. It's a really cool idea. I guess you already know it. Polyrhythmia, we discussed it extensively in our course. Anyways, I put you here a recap of how to make polyrhythmia in Ableton because I had it there available. It was easy. Misusing rhythmic tools, experimentations with programming, ghost notes, top, bottom, left, right. This is a really cool idea. I'll show you in a bit. Treating kick and bass as one entity, drum to pitches and vice versa, and that's kind of the ideas that are on the table for today. So I just wanted to, again, I had this option of getting you to use them or getting me to write something for you, but it seems like what you guys asked me to do at the beginning of the lecture was to develop it myself. So let's go. So the first point that he's kind of telling us is like, hey, my music sounds flat or lacks depth. What can I do? So difficult to explain the satisfying aspect of an inspiring song. Borrow the concept of foreground, middle ground, and background from visual arts. So in visual arts, there is a layer that represent objects that are a bit of different distance from the viewer. So use this concept to create depth in a mix, or I wouldn't say in a mix, but more like in a composition. Make sounds appear closer by making them louder, brighter, increase the higher frequency content, and drier, less reverb, if you want them to be closer. Play sound in the background, so, etc. What this idea is trying to tell us, let's kind of get something going on here. Let me just, I guess that the fastest way, as usual, to work is with my chords here, with my MIDI chords. Wait, let me just quickly get there, so I don't have to write stuff and it could be faster. Yet, drive. And then we will build something like that. MIDI pack, I think if I search MIDI pack, it's gonna get me there. Yeah, well, in here I have some stuff. Yeah. No, it's gonna be like, for example, in here, there I write MIDI. No, these are not the ones. I write MIDI pack because I wanted to get to it on the what's the name on the presentation. So I think it's gonna be around here, like as a or MIDI files. If I search MIDI files, well, MIDI files. Here there is this. I think it's fast. Yeah, we have used it, but it doesn't matter really. Like what I wanna build, it doesn't matter that it's the same idea. It's cool that we have it developed, and it will help us to be faster. So let's continue using this little song for that. It's actually a nice little song. I kind of liked it. So let me download this dude. Third time, yeah, but I. Thank you. I missed that. Sorry. Yeah, let me cancel this and let the first one. I think if I download each one, I fixed the problem of the space of the computer. By the way. Yeah, I deleted everything that was not needed here, and that's it. There is like 11 gigabytes now. Wow. Okay. So let's drop it here, go to downloads, and just grab something here. Where did they ended up being? I have to sneeze. Wait. Thank you. I have to sneeze, so let's go here and find them. Set finder. Okay, cool. MIDI. Okay, great. Yes, thank you. So beats, let's load anything there and go back to the same song again, but we will rework it, which is not a bad idea. So blah, blah, blah. Instruments, drums, drum rack. No, well, sorry, I want drums. I want the 909, whatever. Okay, let's go. Drums. Bass, let's just drop something there in this bass. So let me go here to instruments, and if I write here the word bass, where do I get? Analog bass, basic analog bass. Let's see where this takes us. We have so many different versions of this song. It's actually becoming a meme kind of thing. So let's go synth. Yeah. Let's see what happens here. And let's grab here some keys here, and that's what we got. Yeah, the song? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. we have that thing there. So, okay, the idea is kind of like, okay, let's think now like this. I have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. So what are the things that are going to be in the background, and how do we send them to the background? So let's imagine, I imagine this being done more like this. Let's focus on the melody, on the main melody. And it's a bit of an exercise of layering, what we're going to do now. Let's grab our melody and layer it. So, yes. So let's grab our melody and layer it. And so there would be, if we think in this concept, if we think inside this concept, we have elements that should be closer to us, a little bit further away, and a little and on the background. So let's layer this melody in that way. So, all right, let me find another key here. I'm going to open my Arturias, as usual. Let me just go here, Arturia. And for the sake of speed, let's use the Analog Lab, which is like kind of like I'm not a fan of it. Like I really like more. No, yeah, you're right. But I'm just not a fan of it. I like it's cool because you have like this very cool idea, cool search. Yeah, and you can search by type, like by style, by feeling. You can write like near, for example. And maybe, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get somewhere like that. There is a, if I'm not mistaken, there is a, here, right? Yeah. So you see like, okay, so characteristics, you see? Like there is something like arpeggiated, short, noise, digital, filtered, vibrato, processed, evolving. So, okay, the evolving one, for example, I'm going to start with the evolving one. I'm going to remove the word near here and just get the evolving one. So the evolving one is going to be a good one for something that is on the background. I hope so, too. So let's see. Let's just double the other one. Let's find something else. Maybe this is loaded. And I'm going to mute the other one for now. Wow, I know a song that uses this sound. Definitely. LA 2049. Yes. Nice. Look, this can be some background stuff. Like I mean, if we think about, yes, arpeggiated, and then there's this wah, wah, wah. Yeah. Let me try this. Nice. That's cool. So we can call this element. We can call this element the foreground. We're gonna change, I guess, this basic synth here. This is gonna be the near. This was the background, so I wrote it wrong. So this is the background. This is gonna be the background. This is gonna be the foreground, and we're gonna have the middle. So let me change a little bit this thing. I'm gonna work on this guy a little bit. It's actually funny, but I'm gonna try another lead. So let's try another lead here. And here we go. And let's just go here and search in the Explorer. You want to always start on the Explorer? Yes, why not? Let's go to Styles and let's see. Okay, what do I want? I want something that is dry. Do I have the word dry? Do you see it there? Uh-huh. On the previous page. Instruments. Types. Yeah, so we will have a lead. And then we can go to styles, so we are lead styles, and then we can go like, okay, I want something that is close to us, that is not so far away, so I'm looking for something like dry, if you see the word dry, or something like heavy metal. Thanks, there you go. Let's just try this, just for a moment, yes. Not bad. They're all wet. They're all wet, yeah. Yeah, solo. Yeah, they all have reverb, really. They're so wet. Yeah. Agree. I'm gonna, for the sake of it, I'm gonna just build it myself. Which one do you want me to choose? DX7? Great. Let's go to the DX7 and build something. What do we got here for starters? Nope, I don't want the tour. So, gonna mute this. So I have a piano sound, like a sort of a piano sound. I'm gonna start somewhere else, just like to start there and then fix it. Nope, don't like that. Don't like that. I like this, but again, I want it to be dry. Oh, it's really nice. Let me see if I can get it dry. So looking here to effects and going to reverb. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the decay. Yeah, it's quite dry. Do we have delay there? It's off. I don't know, chorus. Yeah, the chorus. Let me add more chorus here. And destroy. Let's see. Some kind of. I think it depends on the rate. No. No. No, it doesn't. It's not a 100%, yeah. But look at this. Hey, look at this, you see? Wait. Yeah. I thought it was like this whole chain here. And it's also kind of, for some reason, not letting me changing it. I don't know why. It's only exclusive to reverb? No. I thought it was this. Yeah, it's like for mix 1, you see? Mix 1 and mix 2. Yeah, now the reverb is on. Okay, so we have a element in the front, an element in the back. They are kind of similar, right? Remember, when we had a discussion about layering, we were saying like, hey, when you're trying to layer something, don't try to clutter the same frequency range. And so there is an argument to change the frequency range of the background element. And another thing that, and this is what I mean about having a strategy, like the rage of my year in terms of the writing of the film was like they were throwing things at me, and I was kind of like, you know, like, yeah, okay, because I always had a strategy. And well, I mean, or better said, I started the year without thinking so much about strategy, and in the middle of the year, I was like, wow, strategy is important. So if we have a strategy, things will be faster, and we will be more pro. So we were discussing here that if you want to make something, look, enhancing the foreground, main constant musical diffusion to emphasize certain elements, right? For example, the vocal melody with a synth playing an octave higher to draw attention to the synth line. Elements in the middle ground are less dominant but closer in prominence. Elements in the background are quiet and less detailed. So this is kind of like, there is a book called Instructions to Go Up the Ladder. It's a very famous book by an Argentinian writer. And it's a whole essay, you know, about how to actually go your ladder. So it's kind of like grab your left hand on the, and it has some funny way to write it. It's funny written. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's José Saramago. It's a very famous writer. Wait, Instrucciones. Julio Cortázar is the guy. So I'm saying this because this kind of explanations of how to layer things are a little bit like self-explanatory. Like it's like, come on, okay, yeah, I know how to layer something, but to have a strategy, just if you have a strategy, it's just gonna help. It's like having tools. This is so cool. I'm really obsessed with jiu-jitsu right now, like to the maximum obsession level. Like, cause you know I'm training with Anton. Like we go every Thursday and we train jiu-jitsu together with Anton Berendiakin. And I was listening to the world champion, or not the world champion, but the top jiu-jitsu player of all time. Roger Gracie is his name. and he was saying something really cool. When he was talking about the moves in jiu-jitsu, he was calling them weapons, right? And I mean, there are chokes, there are like arm bars and things like that. And yeah, it's so cool. I mean, it's like these are weapons that you carry inside of you that you use with your hands. Like they are not like a gun or something. But I mean, that particular move, there's something called a cross-collar choke. It's like a way to choke somebody. Like that move is a weapon. It's like having a knife or something, but you have it in your head. And so, I mean, I made this metaphor because we are discussing weapons that we can use anytime we need to do something. So, and those weapons that, like in the jiu-jitsu world, they have like a certain set of execution, order, do this, move your finger like that. That's kind of where we are right now. So, okay, we have something in the background, so let's send it a bit backwards, and let's also put some reverb on it. Even though, or let's work with the reverb of the plugin. So, and do you see here reverb? Okay, reverb volume, that's it. So I have those elements in the background. This is a background element, the foreground element. And I was discussing, excuse me, I forgot my train of thought for a second. I was discussing because we got another weapon from another lecture. That weapon was like, hey, we should layer in different frequency ranges. So let's just transpose this one octave lower, for example. It was shift down, right? If I'm not mistaken, shift down. Or, wait, did it? I don't want this to be the bass, so let me try to move it one octave up. Ah, well, I already did. Wait, so... 1 second. Shift up. And I also think I want to change the timbre of this a little bit, so they are a bit different. So let me open the Analog Lab. And gonna change this guy, just why not? Just so they're not different tools. I personally like this as a background element, and I would do something like this. Because remember, it has to not catch the attention. It has to be like a detail. So I'm gonna load one of my favorite things, which is a crystallizer. And with the crystallizer, I mean, you can do this with delays of Ableton. It's nothing fancy. So with the crystallizer, I'm gonna make this backwards, like reverse. Boo, I don't have my iLog with me, so I can do it. So let me put my delay here. Any delay, like grain delay or filter delay. Let's put this filter delay, whatever. Yeah, and just... And of course, when I'm making these lectures and I make this decisions, when I'm making these lectures, rarely like when I'm making this lecture, 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 rarely like when I'm making this Yeah. Glitch. Now I have a feeling that the lead one is too high, so I'm just turning it down 1 octave. I hope I did that. He doesn't show like clearly that you're moving. Well, anyways, don't like my decisions here, but I don't want to stay stuck in this forever. Middle ground, foreground, background. It's an idea to get yourself on stock. Gonna go through here some of the things Denise DeSantis is saying. Elements in the middle less dominant, we read this already. Elements in the background are quieter and less detailed. Consider factors like pitch, volume, speed, rate of change to determine the placement. Some ideas for foreground, pitch shifted spoken text, metal clang interruptions, synth bleeps, and this is for middle ground, synth marimba chorus, acid bass line. For background, you see he's putting like drums as an idea, something percussive, or a sub bass, like, you know, something like that. So another idea, reinforcing that, adjust the rate of change in the middle ground and the background elements to a minimum. So he's kind of trying to tell you that the make the backgrounds and middle grounds elements a bit more stable, so you don't get like a kasha there. Are like foreground elements to have more freedom of motion. Experiment with temporary changes in the depth of certain voices to draw attention. And so, yeah, just like an idea. Other thoughts. When working on a track, it's crucial to find the right balance between idea generation and detail work. You remember, I discussed this in a point. It's like what just happened now. It's like I got stuck a little bit and I don't like the ideas, but I decided to move on. So remember, like in the early and middle stages, focus on broad idea generation rather than driving too deep in specific areas. Like we discussed this, and that's a cool recommendation in general. So, new situation here. So you see, my question is, need more ideas? Part 1. This is need more ideas, part 1. Try mutations of clones. So let's see what he means by mutations of clones. You have a promising but short musical idea and are unsure how to develop it into a full piece. The idea lacks length and direction, leaving you stuck and unable to progress. Proposed solution. Duplicate the initial idea several times, around 8 copies. So let's focus on some part. Let's focus on my organ here that I have, and let's see what I got here. So let's take this thing. So what he's proposing us to do here is to do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like grab a little piece. I mean, in the world that he is describing us, we have only developed this kind of thing. Like that's what he's telling us. So I'm going to focus on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Around 8 copies and create identical copies. Edit the first duplicate by making only one meaningful change to it. This is a really cool idea, by the way. So you're in the first one, and I like to use color a lot when I'm producing, like very much. And don't miss that opportunity. Sorry, I forgot. It's here. So, okay, this is my original one. So I know green one is my original one. And so now I have a first one. Now let's go to the second one. So let's make a little variation. And let's just, for example, drop this. Let me just put this on. Wait. Let me try this. Let's try to. Little variation. Obviously, it's going to force me, this cadence that I decided is going to force me to make another change. So I guess I'm going to get somewhere like this. So he's telling me to make a small change. So I only change 2 of the chords out of the 4 chords. So I don't know if that's a big change or a small change, but he said one meaningful change to it. So let's follow it exactly how it was. I did 2 changes there. Well, no, but this cadence was kind of necessary. I love this chord progression, actually. How it went on. I really like it. So, all right, we did that. Consider changes in fundamental parameters of music. Sound, harmony, melody, rhythm, and form. So, okay, I mean, he's kind of proposing us. I guess that he was also referring to doing something kind of like this. So let's follow a little bit more. This is going to give us more. In Venezuela, we say, how would you translate it? Like more fabrics to cut. What it means is like when you have because I'm adding more elements, now I have more capacities to do things. It's a very, like, whatever, random pagaborca there, Venezuelska pagaborca. It will give us more tela para cortar. So you see what he was meaning is something like this. And then the whole thing, right? We focus on one of them. So now we need to make a change because of the change we made there. Just add the bass now and see how it works. So now this guy, I put it on the what? On the, this is now, what note? It's a E3, yeah. So let me see. So now this is an E, and now let's see how they work together. And now this guy, it works. So okay, we made one change, and then he's proposing us to make another change on rhythm. And we can do something similar. Something simple, sorry. I just mean... I'm gonna switch off the snare. And I'm gonna switch this kick. Wow, it's so incredible how much things change by just muting two things. All I did was to mute two things, and how it was before... Wait. Wow, I'm so shocked, really. Oh. And then I'm gonna put here two snares. And I'm gonna mute this kick again. Make some little meaningful changes. Great. Okay, so I got it. I made two changes there, and should I make a change in my melody? Of course. I think the problem with the song is this melody is terrible. That's why I think the song... we had this me there. So let's just change that melody like that, and let's see how this works. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the point. I'm following what he's suggesting us to do, making those little variations. Got a problem there, and it's in my melody. This la doesn't work, and we were talking about the mi, so let's coincide with the mi there. Now, let's pull this up. So we should stay in the E. I should go and fix that, but I want to continue with the lecture. So, okay, look at how far I got there just by starting making some little changes in the second iteration, right? So, the changes should be significant enough to create an audible difference between the original and the edited duplicate. That was done. Now, move to the second duplicate and make another meaningful change, which can be of the same or of a different parameter. So, you get the point. And now I go to the next one, and then I make a change. And then I go to the next one, and I make a change. And I go to the next one, and I make a change. I make 8 versions of it. And, I mean, only here, like, I feel already that in this movement, I achieved a lot. Like, I have a problem there harmonically. I have to go and fix it, but I mean... This was the original. Repeat the process of making one meaningful change to each duplicate until all copies have been edited. You now have a collection of cousins or brothers, each representing a direct descendant of the original idea. The relationship between these brothers to the parent idea is clear, as only one meaningful change was made to each duplicate. So, okay, now there is another version of this mutations of clones. So you got the single idea. So you got your idea, your basic idea there. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Let's put it here. I mean, that was the original idea. And so what he's trying to tell us now, it's a little bit different. It's like edit the duplicate but make one meaningful change. So we grab the copy of it and we make a change. I'm going to imagine that we did it like this. It's like, okay, I made the duplicate and I made a change. Boom. Now, use your taste and intuition to determine what qualifies a meaningful change. Okay, once satisfied with the change, create a duplicate of the edit. So this is a little bit different. It's like now I grab this one and then I modify this one. And after I modified it, I grab again and I modify it. And I modify it and I do it 8 times. Yes, and making a chain. And see what happens after, you know. So, okay, I made this modification. I'm not going to proceed this to pursue this idea. You get the point. Like, I made the modification, then I made the modification, the modification, then the modification, the modification, the modification, until I did it 8 times or whatever number. I think we discussed this once. Like, it's important to give yourself a number and then just like to force you to do something. And when you finish doing those numbers, you're going to have some alchemical process happens there along the way. And then something cool comes out. Avoid undoing the previous change to try to move forwards with new notifications. Like, I mean, the point would be to make them all be related and connected and interesting with each other. Because our main goal was to try to avoid this problem. Sounds flat or lacks depth. Well, no, this is more for the foreground, background, middle ground idea. Sorry, I misconstrued this idea. The main idea is just to get on stock. If you're stuck with something cool and you want to get on stock with something, what happens to me? Tell me if this happens to you. I hear these symphonies playing in my head and I follow them. Like, that's what's happened to me. I don't use these techniques. I don't need them. I mean, I kind of like, I'm there and there is this orchestra playing and I just go and I repeat what this thing is playing in my head. Like, where does this come from? I have no idea. Like, does everybody has it inside? I have no idea. I only live in one brain. So these techniques are there for those of you who maybe don't have that orchestra playing in your head all the time, or maybe sometimes the orchestra goes to sleep and you need some inspiration. So anyways, when you do this thing that I just said of like, let's grab original idea, change it, change the changed, and blah, 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 you have a collection of descendant ideas, each directly derived from the previous one. All variations can be traced back to the original ancestors, but have inherited changes from previous generations. This idea may progressively diverge from the original, and this gives you the capacity to explore different possibilities and maintaining collection with the first idea. Thanks. Note transformations. This is going to be cool. There are some obvious things here that are pretty obvious, but there are a couple of things that are not obvious. So, need more ideas? Part 3. Try note transformations. So, you have a promising but short musical idea. You're not sure how to develop it. Lacks length and direction. The same problem that we had before. So, most DAWs have a note transformation feature that can help you. So, let's start with the first option, transposition. Shift the entire patterns of notes up and down by a specific number of semitones. So let's say that this was our repetition number 8 and we're really happy, we love it. I think I'm going to spend a couple of minutes fixing this harmonical problem that I had here. Wait a second. So I think that there is a lot of tension there. Let me just see it here. So... And let's see how these two guys work. Let me see it with the bass, our doomed harmony. Yeah, I think I solved it. I sorted the problem. Okay, I sorted the problem. So let's grab something and transpose it, obviously. So I don't know. Let's do it with the harmony. So he is kind of telling us right now to do it a little bit random, just kind of like arbitrary number of semitones, like. But let's be more sophisticated than that and pull out our cycle of fifths. So I'm ending up here, so we have a nice transition between the two ideas that I'm gonna do. So can somebody help me to determine this chord? It's like C, F, and A. So it's C minor triad. Let me see the cycle of fifths. Yeah, it was C. Wait, sorry. D, F, A. Sorry, D, F, A. I made a mistake. D minor. Okay, so let me see the cycle of fifths. 1 second. And let me think about this. So I was in D minor. So which relative major is F? And I could make a move to F, or I can make a move. I mean, I could explore. If I remind me something, if I move in the cycle of fifths to the right, I'm moving a fourth. No, to the left, I'm moving a fifth, and to the right, I'm moving a fifth, and to the left, I'm moving a fourth. So I can move to A flat, to A minor, or to F, something like that. So let me go here. And I'm not going to explore this long. I think this is obvious. This one is the most obvious. There are other options there that he mentions that are cool. So we moved from D. Wait, I lost myself a little bit here. Here we go. We moved from D. Yeah. From D. Ah, wait. And now I'm here. So in here I have C, E. I got it already. Done. Huh? Here, yeah. Oh, sorry. I think it's blocked right now. I know what you mean, like. Aha, I see your point. Yeah. Thanks. So I have C. This is C. It's C minor. C, E, G. Am I right? It's C major. Yeah, C major. C major. So I have C major. So I made. Okay. So I'm kind of doing my song is doing something like this, from D minor to C. I'm gonna try it just to F, just to see what happens. So I'm gonna grab all of this and transpose it. And this is gonna break my harmony, of course. Let me see. Sometimes it breaks my harmony, but it didn't in this case. I mean, depending on the intervals. Transposition, and I mean, this, you can choose how you're gonna do it. There are millions of ways to do it. Like, that's just one of them. Maintain the relationship between notes while changing their pitch. Transpose mini notes can also be applied to audio samples affecting the drummer. Great. Next one, inversion. Flip a collection of notes upside down, making the lowest notes the highest and vice versa. This is. Yeah, let's go. Let's use it. So let me go here. I'm gonna grab here. So top left, you say here. Invert. So, okay, wait. So let me see. C. I'm just not sure. No, you see, like he did something a bit different. Like, look. Because I'm selecting everything, I mean. No, I think that this is an inversion. I mean, in terms of like changing the root of the chord, I think. Like, what he means by inversion, and I think these are two different concepts. Like, what he means by inversion is doing something like this. This was my lowest note. Let's transform it into the highest. This was my highest note, let's transform it into the lowest. So it would be G. Wait, let me just see. I mean, that's what he meant. It's not the correct way to call it, I think, because that's not a chord inversion. I understand. Did I did it right? From C to C? Yeah, from C to C, from G to G. And just changing the feeling of it. And doing it for all the notes. C to G? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there it is. Wait, let me just start again. I lost my zoom level. Let's go. Here? Okay. Yeah, now I changed the chord. Yeah. Okay. Maintain the shape and interval distance from the initial pattern. Apply the inversion in the MIDI domain by moving the notes. Okay, great. That was an idea. Look at the example that he has here. You see, it's like... so the highest note here... Let me see it again. The highest note here became the lowest one. So yeah, here it is. He moved this one. I just cannot see the notes there, but I guess that's a re, that's a do. Yeah, we can see it. That's a do. And so now the highest one in this group, I'm just making sure that I have the correct diagram here, because it looks weird. No. This is yeah, I see. Particular retrograde algorithm. Okay, I'm sure of what I did, so I'm gonna ignore this image for now. This one I was really curious to try it, retrograde or reverse. So he kind of wants to make a mirror image of the whole thing. So let's go back here and imagine that I duplicate this guy, but now I do something like this. Let me just make it a bit more. Let me just do this and kind of get rid of this momentarily. Empty this guy here. Wait, this is the... He wants to do... Nope, I see. This is the selection, and yeah, I want it to be clean. And what he's... Why he did not everything? Okay. What he wants us to try is something like this. So now, what was the end? I mean, it's making like a mirror image of the whole thing. So now we would do this. Well, we end in the same chord, but you get the point. We're gonna do this. Actually, for me, personally, it would be faster to do it like this, with little kusocheks of MIDI. Oh, sorry, I think I'm kind of like did it not how I wanted. So yeah, I'm gonna go here and split this. Split, 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 and split. Yep. Take this guy here, and this one will be my first one now. Take the second guy, and this one will be my second one. There was like a little bit of a space there in between them. No, there wasn't. And so on. Next one will be my third one. So I had 1, 2, 3. Next one will be my fourth one. 4, 5, and 6. So, I don't know. Let's see what happened there. What comes from there, it's not a fully formed idea, in my opinion, but I really see a way out very fast of going somewhere else. Like, I mean, I was there, I was here, and then I moved like... Wait, let me identify where I should be. I need to delete this guy so I don't get lost there. And you see why I like to use colors. Then I go like here, okay, and this is the one. For example, look at a way out I have there, and I would not have thought that idea if I wouldn't have done this. And then I have a way out, like I was here, repeat this chord. And then I can start obviously manipulating that. Obviously, everything that we have discussed today, you can mix it in together. So then we can grab this guy, duplicate it 8 times. So now I have this thing and make variations, right? Let's extend this guy. And the point is that I got unstuck. Like that was what I wanted, just to not be stuck. This guy to the right. Okay, I think the point was demonstrated. I really like this idea, actually. I will use this for sure. Constraint to scale is the next option that he gets us. We're gonna stop soon, by the way, and actually, you know, I just remember something. I found it will be a little bit of a surprise, but I found a really good thing that I want to do next week. I found it like last night at 2 a.m. I just forgot when I started this lecture today. And so we will leave the Santis book, and this thing will stay there for you to explore. Like, we will not see it all in class, but the slides remain, and you can always go and pull up some inspiration from here, because next week's lecture, I want to leave it as a bit of a surprise. I believe it's going to be a good one. So yeah, it's going to be more, this is more like music theory-ish-y, and the other one is going to be more production-y, but you will see what I mean. Anyways, let's see one more. Constraint to scale. I want to see this too. Constraint to scale and time shifting, and we stop. Let me see what else do I have here. Pitch rotation and further possibilities. Let's go. Constraint to scale. Yeah. Selectively transpose MIDI passes to remain within a specific scale. So it would be kind of like, imagine, I have here. Yeah, just force it the same separation of the notes, but force it to be in a new scale. Pretty obvious. It's kind of like, okay, let's say that. I mean, well, this thing right now could be in C major. Right now, because I have no accidentals. So I don't know. I want to just be fast. Let's imagine that I have this thing, and let me load here B minor. I don't know, whatever, B minor. So let me see quickly the notes of B minor. So B, C sharp. Let me just put it here for me quickly. Tell me where. So here, scale, yeah, and then B minor. There you go. B minor. So that's what he means. Yeah. You mean like to show it to me? He's just showing to me. So gray, only yellow notes. Only yellow notes. Okay, great. So, and then I could do like, I mean, he doesn't want you to transpose it. He just wants you to move. I don't know how this is gonna work. This works. We transpose it there. Yeah, and I need to work on this, but the concept of this is just like constraint to scale. Just like find another scale and make your rhythmical idea to fit in that scale. Great. Times shifting. This is a cool idea, by the way. Start a loop passage at an arbitrary position within the pattern, maintain the original pitches and rhythms, but I will explain in a second what it means. But shift the pattern to the left, adjust playback, and start position. So look at this. You see, like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes here, and then a long one. And so he's kind of like chopping down. He's chopping down this tree that starts here and starting the thing from here. You see, like tuk 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 tuk. Yeah. So the way that would look like in our context would be something akin to doing something kind of like this, and then grabbing this thing. I mean, I think for me it would be easier to do it like this, and then do something kind of like this. You see, like, and then we will go here. And then when the idea repeats, I mean, just made a cut there that it's arbitrary. We can do it like here, whatever. We can do it here and then see how it works. Like, etc. That's what he means by time shifting. And pitch rotation, retain the rhythm but shift the pitches to the right or left in time. So let's try to analyze this. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a long one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a long one. So he is keeping the rhythm, but moving this, like, I'm trying to understand what he did exactly here. Keeping the rhythm and the pitches, but randomizing them a little bit, no, because look, these guys went down here. Wow, I really don't understand what he did there. What is this? But wait, to the right or left? This is what I don't understand. In time. He moved them to the right or left in time. Consider wraparound material from the end to the beginning when shifting. I'm just trying to see the pattern here. Look, this note ended up here. Yes, but just the pitches were changed. Yeah, okay. Treat the transform version as a separate isolated pattern. This is a really cool idea. So imagine that you made a transformation and then you throw it on top of on top of your old pattern that you had there. So it would be something kind of like, imagine, yeah, it would be a harmonized melody. Yeah, correct. So I mean, it would be something kind of like this. I make a modification and then I drop this thing on top of this, and then see how it works. So, okay, that's kind of pareidolia is just like, I mean, we all have done this. We all have used it. It's very obvious thing. It's kind of like, imagine it's to create beats. Then the thing now starts going towards beats making. So I'm gonna grab a sample. Like, let me see if I have a clip here. And this also applies. This applies both for nice. This applies for beats or for what's the name, or for chords, or for even samples of a song. Let me see if there is anything here on the downloads. Like here, Blank Condolences. Great. Oh, great that we have Blank Condolences there. Great. So imagine what he means by this is grabbing a song that already exists and an audio track here, grabbing a song that already exists and making a weird loop of it, like a totally random loop, something like this, for example. And then let me just make a loop here and switch this. Let's do it when there is only music, because the vocals will disturb us a little bit. There is in the end. This is a cool idea, actually, and I really think that many songs that we love have this part of this kind of like idea in the process. Wait, let me just. So imagine that I do something like this. And then I imitate that beat. You see, it came out from this weird loop I made. And I just use that beat. I mean, just like it's literally randomly opening something, chopping it down, making a weird loop, seeing what comes out from it, like a really weird loop, not a squared loop. Like that's a really nice beat idea that you have there to start with. To find a phrase. So something like that. So, well, then he discusses polyrhythmics. Obviously, I put you here that little tutorial that we did before. The other thing that he's talking about is like using quantization badly on purpose. Like, imagine that you go here and you quantize this thing. Let's grab our horrendous melody that we're already sick of listening. And then we grab this guy. Let me just be focused on here. Grab this guy and then you quantize it. But you quantize it weirdly, like something like this. Something that just breaks how it was. Let me do something a bit more. Like imagine that I grab here triplets. Wait, let me just go back to the previous idea. You get the point. Just like quantize it in a weird way. Let me see if I do 4th, 8th triplets. No, it's not gonna be so weird. You a little bit my feelings. But no, I'm meaning something more extreme. Wait. If I quantize it in fourths, I was expecting something more. Ah, well, I can also have it to the current grid, so I can make a zoom out. Wait, close. I can make a zoom out here and get the grid to become more and more and more basic. Yeah, like, and then quantize, for example, to the current grid. And I just broke my idea there. And maybe once I had this, then I can go and re-quantize this. Now let me see if I can get anywhere interesting here, like with triplets. Yeah, well, not because I'm, for example, if I do a bigger zoom and then I try to quantize to triplets in eighths, maybe, no, it's not going to change so much. No, I need to be do it with more care, but this is where we are. Like, I mean, misuse rhythmic tools, quantization, slicing. This is really obvious, like really cool when you chop something in a weird way. I'm sure that hip hop is using a lot. There is a program in Pro Tools, for example, called Beat Detective that I quantize audio, so misusing that. And yeah, just misusing the rhythmical tools is a really cool idea. There's some ideas here about quantization. He's also having, I really, really, really believe in this. Like, I mean, there is also this proposal of like, well, obviously, just grab your thing and change the tempo of it totally. And maybe you will find a better version of that idea. Or I don't know, just make it super fast. Let me see if I... No, I'm doing it the opposite way. This is the quantized version, and so... And if I do it even faster... It's very different, and it became better. So, I mean... He calls that find your natural tempo. So, whatever. Humanize, randomize, adjust velocity instead of timing, etc. I need to stop because I need to go to have lunch because I have a lecture at 12:30. So, anyways, in your presentations, you know, there are some of those presentations that are meant to be archives of ideas if you ever want to explore them in the future. You have 20 ways of layering sounds, and then creative strategies part 1 and part 2. And next week we're going to have another special one like this, but it would be a little bit different. It would be another source that I found last night that I think is going to be cool. So we are a couple of lectures away from the end. It's been really amazing, and let's continue till we crush it, and next year is going to be even more cool. So